their sensitivities are because of our generation. My generation caused that.
Okay,
My generation created political correctness.
Right.
So this was our little attempt, and then it blew up in our face.
Political correctness. It's a term that's been around for decades, but in recent years it's become a lightning rod for controversy, particularly online. As we've become more connected through technology, it seems like we're also becoming more divided by our differing opinions and beliefs. This divide has spilled over into real-life protests and clashes, with people on both sides feeling like their voices aren't being heard. This fear of being silenced or labeled has led to a culture where people are quick to take offense and argue about who has the right opinion. So, what's the solution? How can we bridge this divide and have productive conversations about sensitive topics?
Why are you guys removing Black Lives Matter's graffiti?
We're just trying to take care of the city. Yeah, we tried over there and it wasn't coming off. It's still one of those coming off.
But why do you want that to come off?
Well, because this is a federal building. Yeah, it's just a vandalism.
But so you don't care about Black lives then?
Not at all. That's not at all what we're saying.
That's what this...
We certainly do care about Black lives.
Not enough to leave up a message.
You don't disagree with the message, ma'am. It's just on the building. We're just trying to clean it.
Right. Not a great way to use your white privilege, ladies. Not a great... That's disgusting.
Excuse me. Hey, excuse me. I work for Black Lives Matter.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I work for Black Lives Matter. I'm sorry that I scared you.
That's okay.
But since I work for that company, my CEO has told me to come out today and to bring you on your knees because you have white privilege. So if they see that a white person is getting on their knees, that shows solidarity for the situation. And could you just please apologize for your white privilege?
I am. I'm trying to think of the right words to say because that's a big thing to say.
It's big.
It comes from.
It's large in this country.
I'm incredibly sorry.
We ask for forgiveness from our black brothers and sisters for years and years of racism.
Because speech is so powerful. And with that power, we human beings can exert it either to great good or to great ill. Now the question is, what does more harm? Trusting our fellow citizens on the whole to minimize the adverse potential impact of speech, or trusting government to pick and choose which potentially dangerous, harmful speech should be censored? What we've seen throughout history and around the world, not surprisingly, is whoever exercises censorship power does it in a way to perpetuate their own power and to disproportionately silence the voice of their critics. Freedom of speech really is the bedrock of every other right, and really almost everything positive in our society could not be achieved without that essential bedrock.
There's a difference between defending an important principle and advocating for the implications of that principle. Let me give you a couple of examples. One example is defending the freedom of expression, even though you disagree with what someone might say when they exercise that freedom. So for example, I might defend your right to speak. I might defend your right to express yourself without fear of losing your job, for example. But I might still not agree with whatever it is that you're going to say. So you say something I don't like it, I respond to it. That's the proper way to handle it. That is to say, we defend the right of people to express themselves, even though we acknowledge that the outcome of that might not be what we agree with.
Cancel culture, social justice warriors, and the threat they pose to free speech are some of the most pressing issues of our time. The rise of cancel culture has created an environment where people are afraid to speak their minds, for fear of being shamed or ostracized for their views. Social justice warriors, or SJWs, are at the forefront of this movement, using their power and influence to silence dissenting voices and promote a narrow, ideologically driven agenda. One of the biggest dangers of cancel culture and SJWs is their impact on free speech. Free speech is a fundamental right that is enshrined in the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, and it is essential for a healthy democracy. When people are afraid to express their opinions, or when certain viewpoints are silenced, the marketplace of ideas is diminished. This can lead to a situation where only a narrow range of opinions are heard, and dissenting voices are marginalized or silenced. Cancel culture and SJWs are also a threat to intellectual diversity. In order to fully explore complex issues and come up with innovative solutions, it's essential to have a wide range of perspectives and viewpoints. When cancel culture and SJWs silence certain voices, or promote a particular ideological agenda, this can lead to a situation where intellectual diversity is stifled. This can be detrimental to progress and innovation. Another danger of cancel culture and SJWs is the potential for abuse. Cancel culture has been used to target people for trivial offenses or misunderstandings, and SJWs have been known to engage in witch hunts and online harassment campaigns. This can have a chilling effect on free speech and can create a climate of fear and intimidation. Despite these dangers, it's important to recognize that there are also valid concerns about hate speech and discriminatory behavior. While cancel culture and SJWs can be problematic, there are also legitimate reasons why some people feel the need to call out problematic behavior or speech. It's important to balance these concerns with the need to protect free speech and intellectual diversity. In conclusion, cancel culture, social justice warriors, and the threat they pose to free speech are complex issues that require thoughtful and nuanced discussion. While there are valid concerns about the impact of cancel culture and SJWs on free speech and intellectual diversity, it's also important to acknowledge the legitimate concerns about hate speech and discriminatory behavior.